All right, great. So we're starting the recording here. Thanks for joining the Ignite developer call. Today, I'm Lee. I'm from Weaveworks. Chanwet is also with Weaveworks, and Sunny is on, joining us from StorageOS. And we really appreciate uh, the time that people put in to making contributions to this project. I started a little bit of an agenda this morning. Let me share my screen. And we'll just do this one. Cool. And fortunately, oh, I see, I'm logged in to the wrong person. This, you get a new window, change who I'm logged in as. Oh, here we go. All right. So, um, as far as things, I was able to do some reviews over the weekend, and I got Lucas's ARM64 kernels and Ubuntu user space manifest list image. Pretty incredible changes to our build system to get merged into master. Uh, Sunny, you did try out this change set and you noted that you had issues creating CNI networks on your
Yes, yeah. I installed CNI using Ignite's documentation where for installing CNI, it takes the architecture name and downloads the appropriate binary.
Yeah.
CNI was correct, but I don't know why it failed. I can check again why it failed. Try to reproduce it.
Um, hmm. Because yeah, even if those were ARM-HF binaries, it still should work because all it needs to do is have the right calls to the kernel, and ARM-HF and ARM or AR64 binaries should both run on something like your Gen 2 build. Probably
Right.
doesn't matter which binaries you use, as long as they run. Because yeah, the container should get set up, and then CNI will exec out to the host binaries. As long as the kernel knows how to run them, then it should configure the kernel, and then yeah, the containers sandbox should be set up properly for the Ignite VM. I'll have to look into it. It sounds like a CNI bug or the way that we're using CNI, but it's hard to imagine something ARM specific as to why that would be that way.
I have seen some similar issues. It's not exact issue. When I run on my laptop, when I mix Docker and CNI, it fails. If I use Docker and Docker Bridge, it works.
Yeah. Well, oh, were you using Containerd and CNI?
Containerd and CNI works, but Docker and CNI fails.
Oh yeah, that's a known issue.
Okay, I thought that was just my computer.
No, yeah. You'll see when I run the E to E tests. I've been doing.
I've seen it fail there in that interface. Yeah.
I've been doing this. Yeah, only run Docker and Docker Bridge and the Containerd tests, not the Docker CNI ones.
So in that case, can't we make it default? Like when you use Docker Bridge automatically. Don't have to specify.
I suppose. It would require a little bit more flag logic, but yeah.
Is there use case for running Containerd with Docker Bridge?
It does work.
Okay. If even there is not required, we can make them default. Like we use Docker bridge, containerd, CNI.
Yeah, it's really more that CNI used to work quite well with Docker, and then we made some lifecycle changes, and now there's a little bit of cleanup issue, which causes the process to fail. But previously, Docker was the only one CNI was working with, so we kind of traded in order to get it working with Containerd. There's some really interesting implementation questions that I think Chanlin and I both have about how to use CNI properly, where it's just really not well documented and understood. If we maybe go digging a little harder to really figure out what these things are, I would be keen on doing that. But yeah, it seems like there's a lot of extra work that you have to do outside of the normal CNI. Like we're using the same CNI libraries, that are in use in the kubelet, and I guess we could probably read some kubelet code. But it doesn't seem trivial to operate the CNI bridge in Ignite, and that's the reason now why the code is exiting non-gracefully when we use Docker.
It's my cat.
No.
I was trying the reboot, VM reboot. It works with Docker, but it doesn't work with Containerd and CNI. What happened?
Sorry, I just had to blow my nose. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I would imagine that the stop logic for the Docker implementation versus the Containerd implementation, the Containerd one is likely removing the task, where in Docker it's probably just calling the stop API, which means that the sandbox is still around. Yeah, it's probably just Chanman opened up an issue actually regarding Ignite RM and having some end-to-end tests to see if the behavior is the same. We could add a few checks there for the normal testing environment to determine where the differences are. But, I did merge your tiny image fix. That was a
solid.
I'm keen on getting a review for Ignite CP in. I saw that you added the source and target directory logic as well as the source target directory logic.
Right.
And
but I could not find a way to test for directories. I was thinking I can create a client in the test itself, but I was not sure if that would do that. That's like too much of work.
That's
some easier way
to do an OS makedir and and then drop some files into it, that kind of thing.
But how do you check on the remote side?
To just with exec and like find.
So the output of find will tell you the file exists or not, directory exists or not. That's it.
Yeah, or find and cat. You could do cat of like multiple directory names and check the output if you wanted to also check file contents. But,
okay.
I think that would be very reasonable. Yeah, don't feel pressured to go changing a bunch of things though. Yeah, it's effectively the same test, just with directory tools instead of file-based ones. The OCI parser fix that you put in, does this actually, I wanted to review this. Does this let you run an image with a 256 SHA?
I am not sure. So I think I mentioned, right? I was implementing local image import. And when you do that, your OCI, image ID doesn't have the repository's name. And in that case, parser fails. I am not sure if it works for SHA-based image URL.
Okay, because I saw you fix the parser.
You can try it, no?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure. It's the same one that Lucas talked to me and review it for me and get me merged. I'm not sure. Is it the same?
Oh, did you merge a patch, Chandler?
Yeah. I talked with Lucas a couple hours ago, and we reviewed some PR from Sunny. So I'm not sure. Is this the same thing?
It is the one. 556 PR.
Yeah, that one, 556, yes. And Lucas reviewed this for me, and he tested, and I think it's get merged already. 556 and the small one, 552, and we test 561 together and just merge it last hour.
Oh, good. Thank you for merging this, the plan test thing. I was looking to review that. So 552, 556, and 551?
Yeah, 556, and yeah, we test. I mean, we test this. Yes, and also 552 is a small fix, right?
Yeah, I merged this last night. And then, yeah, 465, and then I linked the OCI string fix.
And then Lucas implement reworked on 561, and we just tested before this recording, so just get merged.
What was the PR number on that, Chandler?
561.
561. Which was this? Oh, bump CNI to 085. Okay.
To 085. Yeah.
Great.
And the test was failed, and then he refixed it like a couple of minutes ago. Okay, but
I see.
Yeah.
So this OCI ref thing is a little trickier than just this patch. So this is probably combined work with the branch I put up, which you mentioned here. What did I do in this branch? And commits did I make here?
So we can discuss here how to improve if you like to.
Yeah. Let's see. Functional tests. Okay, so it's just this commit. And, all right. Yeah, this was more involved. Yeah, so just digests in general are not supported in our concept of ref, which is inside of our API.
Okay.
So what I did here was I added support for parsing the ref with a digest first and then a tag, and then also just a bare name, because that doesn't work right now. And then I added a digest field to OCI image ref.
Can you show it on the screen?
Oh yeah, guess I thought I was showing it. So here's the patch that you just submitted, which has a change to the image library in API. There is a helper here for parsing the OCI string.
Mm-hmm.
And you have added a prefix detector,
Right.
I guess for this Docker bit. And so this is apparently parsable by this, what URL parse will get you. Oh, never mind. Parse OCI content ID, which is what we were doing here already. Interesting. What is the return type of this function? Now I have to look in like VS Code or something.
It has a tag and a name, I think. Tag and name of the image.
OCI content ID, and this type is if a given local Docker SHA, like, did you add this comment already? How come, oh, I'm looking at the wrong, I see. So this was already written here. So this is interesting to me. This apparently was written to support SHA-256 digests. And it also was apparently written to support, like the intention here was that Docker and OCI paths should have been supported as well as like the full repo. I'm pretty perplexed. So it seems like you're fixing a bug. Parse Docker ref.
So my fix was, it was doing URL parse, I guess, down. You scroll down. And
Yes.
that is not a valid URL. Host and port number are not there in that. URL, so it fails.
This was added a year ago. And yeah, I think some of this was re-implemented, it looks like. And it introduced the bug. So there were no tests. It's gonna be my guess.
In a way, the new test this function and the above function as well.
So I just did a build of your branch here. Now, failed to resolve reference Docker IO library. Do I have this image pulled? Don't know how useful this is gonna be. I'll pull the image first. How are you were doing the tar import to get the image in? And our image importer is actually with containerd. So I need to import this thing into containerd.
Oh, if you do through containerd, then it works properly. If you import an image from Docker using Docker as runtime, then it fails because the ID will have Docker :// and Pisha.
Yeah, we really need to clean up some of this implementation. So I have the image, and now I may have to import this into the containerd namespace in order to get it to be. Well, this is even parsing differently. Should I do this? Invalid reference format. I had the right build. Okay. And then where's the containerd? Docker image save a particular image, and then CTR, and okay. So I would do this, and then I would take my probably the fully qualified image name here, like this. And then would I Firecracker oops. Does that look sane to you?
Guess yeah.
Well, I guess I'm missing it. It's taking an awfully long time.
So what I did was pull a image, save it in a file, delete it from Docker, and then import into Docker. Wait. Oh, and then import into Docker through Ignite using runtime as Docker. And then if you open the metadata file in Ignite image, you will see the ID is different.
Yeah, these SHAs are the same, those digests. And then I should be able to could not parse image with a tag, but then what is supposed to work? Like this? Or like this? What's the expected format that should be able to run this image?
I wasn't running it directly. I was importing it. And while importing it, reads the metadata. And in the JSON file, it finds this format and the whole parser fails. I was not using it directly.
Okay. I don't know how much that's going to change, but I should do this.
Image import. No, I was not doing this. I'm not sure if it would work. If you want to try, you can try the tar import branch. Then you would see what is happening.
Does your tar import branch have this fix spaced into it?
Yes. It has. It has this fix and the tiny image fix as well. I have to rebase later.
So when you do the tar import, the metadata about the name is lost?
No, that is retained, but the ID, let me check. Can you check one of image metadata file? Can you open any image metadata file?
Like with a Docker image save?
Any.
Oops.
Invalid firecracker images. Any existing image would be fine. You don't have to create a new one, any old one. I'll tell you what happens.
I think this will take 17 seconds or so. Here we are. So then need to tar xvf the Kubernetes Docker image. Now we have a bunch of layers, and then
No, not this metadata file. I was talking about Ignite image metadata file.
Okay. Like in
A valid firecracker images, yeah. The last ID, OCI, Docker IO, and the whole name, right? If you do a local image import using Docker, like using Docker as a runtime through Ignite, the first part would be missing. It would be just Docker : / and the hash, the SHA. But if you use containerd to import it, this would be as it is right now.
I'm fascinated by it. Actually makes me wonder now. Can I do That's funny. You cannot actually pass an OCI source here, and you cannot do an image import. That's an invalid reference format. But if I take off yeah, so digests are not supported, but the OCI source is stored with a digest. Okay. Well, I think, yeah, some of this solution is probably going to be a combination of these branches and then some other runtime stuff. That makes me have sorry, I just need to clean up really quick after. XR. X OCI ref. Okay, and let's get this onto the master branch. Why not? Update that. Did GitHub change their keys?
No.
Oh, it's because I'm.
Um,
That was silly of me. I think I just messed up my Git repo.
oh, it was to your fork.
Yeah, no, I was trying to push as root, so my keys were not correct. Is when I was testing a fix to this, there is this reproduce case. Okay, so that builds correctly, and so here we actually did a proper image import. But then invalid reference format seems to come from the runtime. So here we actually pulled in the image. And the Ignite image ID that we it doesn't look like, oh, that was not successfully imported. Well, this is, Were you saying that this is the thing, runtime Docker?
Wait.
Ah. Okay. Oh. So this
It works with Docker.
Image ID and varlib Firecracker image, this one. So if I were to haha. All right, so that's another works in Docker. Oh no. But it doesn't actually work. This is
Is there a plan to stop supporting Docker? No, right? Docker will be there always.
we don't have an active plan to deprecate it right now. I would be fine if we had full feature parity, but we don't. But it certainly the interfaces to make things match, like Docker and Containerd functionally are not the same. Docker does a lot of extra stuff to make using containers really easy. Using the Containerd API directly, it's quite nice, but you have to do a lot more. And this is probably a good example. There's something when we talk to Containerd about, regarding the image import where it's not functioning. And then now you're making me think as well. Did I get that right? No, this looks like it's not working as well. So it seems like something is not getting set up correctly in the way that we inflate the image. Should probably take some notes on this since we spent so much time running this down. Import of digest refs works with runtime Docker, fails with runtime Containerd. Ignite run. Fails with both runtimes. Once into Ignite, named by the digest. Ignite run fails with both runtimes. Seems to time out. Initial suspicion. Is that the sandbox is not inflated correctly for digest images. This is a stored. Okay. Paste Sunny's patch has to do with supporting the metadata results from because Sunny, you mentioned right that this OCI source was different when you were doing an image import.
Right. It was different when using Docker, and it was the normal OCI format and using Containerd.
Okay. Metadata.json. Because one of these images I imported with Docker, and they all more or less have.
If you do remote pull, it will be what they look right now. If you do a local import, they look different. They are Docker : / and the SHA.
When you mean local import,
From a tar file, load Docker load using the load command.
okay. So if I did image save and then I do an image load on that same output, do I need to remove the image from my Docker daemon first? Like
You
this?
should, yeah. You should remove it, yeah. I'm not sure if you would see the new image ID. You should see it, yeah. I didn't check, but it should be visible in Docker image store as well.
Okay, I deleted it from Docker.
Have you loaded?
I'm just gonna check. Okay, it's not there. Image load. Then this is gonna be the kupatm.docker image file. Oh, read from the tar archive. Okay. 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 And this SHA is different. This SHA
Okay.
doesn't show up, but this one is different. So, oh, well, it's not.
Can you inspect it? Inspect the image?
I need to shorten the number. There we go. I see. But then the SHA that WeWorks previously exported was this. That doesn't show up. And then you're saying image inspect of this?
The new one, yeah. Do you see any ID?
Yeah.
That's the ID. That's local ID.
Yeah, and then you're saying that that's okay.
So they differentiate between online import and local loading.
So you're saying I should be able to do something like this. And that you can't.
Ignite import always goes online, because of which I was implementing a separate command.
I see. Okay. That adds a lot of context for sure.
So I was thinking, should we change? Right now we call, what's the command? Pull, right? For importing image?
It's just called image import.
Image import.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, should we rename import to pull when you're doing online pull? And import means you're importing from a local file.
It's a little, yeah, because they're really not the same thing. Like, it technically means like import it from the container runtime, right? Because we're not storing them the same way. We're creating these devices.
You may pass a flag in that case,
Yeah,
which says do a local import.
yeah. I mean, the Docker version of it is pretty similar to that, right? If you look at the help for it, it would normally. Oh, that's weird.
Our file, yeah.
Didn't I just have to do? What did I just do? Yeah, image. Oh, I did load.
Load. Let us load, yeah.
Is that different?
This is for file system, and that is for image, I think. You and I got confused initially.
Yeah, I'm becoming. Oh, and then here you can actually tag the image. Which is different from load, I think. Yeah, so in load you can't tag the image, but if I were to say,
You can override the metadata in that case.
yeah, I think I could do something like this. And then remove the input part of that flag. And then now I have a completely different SHA. That actually has a tag, and it's the only Kubidium there. So there's a UX difference.
So what do we do?
I like that this has to have a name of some sort when you do, because I couldn't do this image import without a name. Oh yeah, I can. That's optional. And now I have a completely different SHA every single time. It's all different. I'm importing the same tarball, and yeah, that's it. It's a unique SHA every time.
But if you delete and import it again, will it be same? Delete from the Docker image store?
It doesn't seem to be that way, but I could, yeah, do a Docker image RM.
Maybe it's considering the name of the image while calculating the.
This has no name right here.
So it was using the default name.
Yeah, it'll be none. So if I were to take this and then run my grep for that, in fact, I can probably just look for 699 gigabytes, and there's many different images.
Maybe they consider time as well, import time.
Yeah, I imagine that it's decorating. There's a difference between the metadata in these two things. Like I could do of this SHA, and then of another one of these. What did I do? That one and that one. So there. It's just the SHA, the created at
created.
It's the only difference. I suppose if you set the system time on import, then you could potentially get a hash collision.
Hmm.
Maybe. I mean, maybe there's a difference in the content part of the store as well here. And this is just a coincidence. But yeah. We don't have a lot of time left on this meeting. So let me just finish saying supporting tar image import the metadata that results from a Docker image save. Does not may include image name. The result from Docker image load will not have a name tag. Overriding the name tag is optional on Docker image import. All right, that's interesting. It reminds me of messing around with OCI as well, with like Umaki and stuff. It's the same awkwardness. Back to our agenda. So we talked about the tar image import stuff. This require name thing, I did try it out a little bit. It's not working for me with the anonymous config file.
I didn't try that, I guess.
Yeah, that's just, I think, probably the main use case there. I have a suspicion that it's likely just the fact that checking for VM name, the generation might be happening somewhere else, or our check for whether or not it's supplied is somewhat lossy.
I'll give it. I'll try.
We already upgraded CNI. Thank you for doing that this morning with Lucas Chenwit. That's done. I'd like to get rid of the depths failures in CI and move that to a different periodic test or something that's optional. We should upgrade to Go 1.14, and the new version of Firecracker is also necessary. And then we should get some other stuff in between, but ultimately we should be looking to prioritize a release since we have a ton of work that's been merged into master that's not released right now. So we should finish these reviews and merge them. There's a bunch of stuff, but we should work toward a release soon. And then you brought this up, Sunny, which consumes piped content when interactive. Is this an issue or feature request?
This is very,
yeah.
It's a feature request. It's very useful, but we don't support this right now.
This would be very cool. That would be useful. I agree. That would be very Unixy. But, all right.
And I needed the feedback regarding the config file PR. Maybe later. I'm just waiting to see if that implementation is fine. I changed some flag parsing.
Yeah, you're talking about the component config POC. I haven't read it yet, but I would like to review that. So I will get you feedback on that. That would be excellent to include in the release, even if it were a provisional API, like something that's work in progress. I think it'd be fine to include. Great. Anything else important that we need to bring up before we drop the meeting?
No, nothing else from my side. Nothing.
Cool. I will keep chugging away on reviews. It's just a lot of reviews to be done. Thank you so much for all the high quality work that you've been submitting.
Oh, one more thing. I was checking Circle C. They don't have any way to make a test optional.
Okay. Well, we can probably just remove the test. Or we can add a success message. If there's a way to decorate the success message to just add a warning, then that might be a thing. But,
yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you both. I hope you remain healthy, and I hope chatting with you at the latest next week, if not before then. So, cool. See you, Chandler. Bye, Sunny.
See you.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye-bye.